Hello and welcome to the 2024 Monaco E-Prix post-race press conference with our podium sitters, including winner Mitch Evans from Jaguar TCS Racing, Nick Cassidy from Jaguar TCS Racing, and Stoffel Vandoorne from DS Penske. Congratulations, guys. A very, very interesting race for us as viewers. No doubt interesting for you behind the cockpit as well. Starting with you, Mitch.
Yeah, look, we knew it was going to be a tough race. We knew it was going to be, obviously, all about the strategy around the attacks. Obviously, Nick and I started side by side, so that, yeah, that kind of helped things as the race evolved. And yeah, we had a rough game plan before going into the race, but yeah, I really owe this win to Nick. He really helped me when it mattered. I helped him when it mattered as well, but obviously I'm the one that's come out on top. So I really appreciate the team player he was today, and it's just an amazing achievement for the team, and for me to finally get my first win here after trying, even before formally I was trying in GP2 and everything. So to finally get on the top step here feels it means the world.
Yeah, like you say, very good day at the office. First win of the season for you, first win for you in Monaco, first win for the team as a manufacturer in Monaco as well. Just to go back to about the strategy there, was there any sort of pre-arrangement or agreement in regards to strategy between you and Nick, considering you were starting pretty close to each other?
Yeah, obviously we discuss all potential scenarios, but majority of the time when you get on track, the race happens completely differently. So, but the way it turned out, yeah, I think it was as expected, and yeah, obviously we knew we were going to be racing. We're going to be with each other on the track. So instead of obviously tripping over ourselves, we may as well help each other. And it's quite a big attack loss here. So I think the DS guys were trying to do the same thing as well. But yeah, we executed that perfectly, and but yeah, obviously, we discussed this, pre-race, but also other scenarios that could potentially happen. So, but yeah, it played out exactly as we wanted.
You've been scoring fairly well this season as it is, but now with this win, it must feel like a weight off to some degree.
For sure. Look, I haven't started the way I would have liked. I came off the back of a really strong end of last season, with many wins and podiums and stuff. So I was expecting the same to start, or at least early on in the season. And it's just, obviously I had Brazil, which was a second place, almost a win. But it's just not really gone the way I would have liked so far. So this win's come at a really good time, at a really critical stage of the championship. To get my first win finally is nice. It's kind of, to get that first win of the season, it always feels like a monkey off your back, and then you can kind of try and carry that momentum through the rest of the championship. So it's coming at a good time. Obviously Nick scored well as well today. I'm not sure about the other guys at the top of the championship, but 25 points was well needed for us, or on my side of the garage anyway, this weekend.
I can imagine it's almost like an extra weight, though, because you've been in that position here in Monaco where you've been leading the race quite a few times, and it hasn't worked out in the past, but it did today, and then a nice dedication at the end to Sir Colin Giltrap as well.
Yeah, unfortunately we lost Sir Colin recently. For those who don't know Sir Colin, he's been one of a huge supporter of many Kiwi drivers over the years, and he's supported my career for over 20 years. And unfortunately he passed away. So he was at London formally last year. He's been at many formally races and other races in the past. So I really want to dedicate this win to him.
Nice. And Nick, moving on to yourself, first Team 1-2 of the season actually, and your first experience of a Jaguar Team 1-2. You were involved in the 1-2-3 last year. But it feels like that's been coming. That was very much anticipated at the start of the season, that this moment here wouldn't take too long to come. It's taken 7 races or 8 races, but your 5th podium of the season. That's some great consistency.
Yeah, look, firstly, I think today's about Mitch. He won the Monaco E-Prix, which I think is very deserving winner. Many podiums here, very close. I was lucky enough to be in a position with him the other way around last year and got the win here. It's very, very special, and I'm super happy for him, for the team, Jaguar TCS Racing. On my side of the garage, I think, yeah, look, we had the performance today. I think not quite as much as Mitch, in practice and qualifying, struggled more or less a little bit, but we were there when it counted, and it's a great team result.
Huge points, all. On the team radio, it sounded like you had a few concerns that there was a bit of slow pace that might end up costing you. Can you talk us through that concern at the time?
Yeah, I just thought at one point we had really quick cars and we could just go. We had a 1-2, which to be honest we then did, and it played out. We had radios today. I don't know if for you, Mitch, man, couldn't speak. It's harder, and it was really hard. Like, we were repeating messages. It might sound like we're stressed, but we're actually just stressed on whether the messages have gone through or not. Yeah, communication was difficult from a radio point of view.
What can you tell us about the use of attack mode strategy and the varying strategies outside of attack mode as well? Because attack mode itself was hugely influential today.
Yeah, I can't remember much about it. Just drove through the loops. Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Nick. Stoffel, this is a big day, a huge result. I mean, it's crazy to say your first podium since your championship win. That must feel amazing.
Yeah, no, it feels good. Although I'm almost a little bit disappointed because I think, yeah, we had a strong car today. We qualified very well. We really managed the first part of the race very good. Letting Pascal go take attack mode, take the lead, and actually take control of the race before taking my first attack mode, still being in the lead. With both Jaguars behind, still having to take both of them. So I think that was a very good stage of the race. Then where I feel like we lost the race is when I took the second one. We nearly pulled it off to slot in between both Jaguars. I think if we would have managed that, it would have been a different race today, and we might have had a real chance at winning it. But having both of them in front of us, then that's where all the games started to play out, and where the gaps got created, and they could just take their attack mode for free, basically.
It was one of those rare occurrences where I can't remember how many times I've actually seen it in Formula E, where the top almost 8 was team. The 4 strongest powertrains, maybe all represented by both their drivers, Jev included. What were the discussions happening at the end of the race about your position with Jev?
Well, Jeff had a similar issue than both Mitch and Nick. He still had to take an attack mode, so I kind of gave him the position, made sure he had enough of a gap to take it, and I managed to slot in back in front with him on a second attack mode. So once that all plays out, then the race from there was pretty pretty settled, pretty straightforward. Just driving laps.
The team, your points and Jev included, looking very strong, solid points for the team, now fighting up there with the likes of the Porsches and Jaguars. But for you personally, qualifying had been there in other races this season and last season, but now there's the podium again. What has that done now for your confidence for the rest of the season?
It's obviously helps. It's always good to pull off a good result, and I think our races have been the difficult point, let's say. I think we've always been able to qualify well, but we've never really managed to capitalize on that and really play the race well. I think now we've got better understanding of that. I think we're improving our car race by race as well, and that's starting to pay off. So I think we're on the rise.
Do you think you can bring the fight to the others?
I hope so. I mean, I'm a little bit far in a championship myself, but there's still, I don't know how many, 6 races to go. So it's still plenty of good opportunities to show some good results, and that is definitely the target, is to have a strong end of the season.
Any questions from the floor? Yeah.
Jack Smith, Motorsport Monday. Mitch, would it be fair to say that despite missing out in qualifying, there was always the pace there to get the job done in the race? And just as a little side point, after the announcement of Jaguar's commitment yesterday, does this sort of feel like the perfect weekend?
Yeah, I was obviously one hand disappointed to miss out on pole, because I think we've been really quick since we started in practice, and I messed up the semi-final from the first corner. Then I went long against Pascal. But then as soon as I came in, I thought, I mean, there's space in the car, but actually we're probably starting in a better position than P1. So like I was in P1 at Misano, and that was the worst race in the world to be on pole. So this obviously isn't as extreme as that, but it definitely made me, I felt like from turn one I was going to be in a good position to have a really good crack at this race. So there's been good pace in the car all day on both cars. So and to your second question, I think obviously this announcement is a huge one for Formula E. A huge one for Jaguar and their vision for the future. I think both the championship and the brand complement each other really well. Jaguar goes full electric from 2025, so it's a perfect category for Jaguar that's always been around in world motorsport to have their works team. So very exciting news. It's obviously still a few years away, but to get that announced, I think is great for the brand and great for the team.
Time for one more question.
Nick Golding, Race News 365. Question to all three of you. Were you surprised to see Edo's big crash dealt with under a safety car rather than the red flag? And given the length of the first safety car, how big an impact did that have on the style of race we saw today?
I haven't seen the incident actually. I haven't really seen what happened, but it looked pretty. When you go off in that corner, it's never nice. I think the speed must have been pretty high. There was a lot of definitely a lot of debris on track. I think that's why the safety car took a bit of time to clear all of that and put the safety barriers back into place. I think it didn't really change too much to the race, to be honest. I think the energy more or less stayed the same during the safety car period. We've seen in some other races it tends to jump up or down depending on the speed of the safety car, but here I would say it kind of just neutralized it.
I think that's all we've got time for. Thank you very much. I'm sure you need to sleep because it's been a long day.
You're really strict on the time, huh? Everyone's.